So I'm Bernie Lawton. I am 28 years old and I grew up here in Omaha. I've been basically here my whole life. I moved away for a little bit for work, but then just moved back recently at the start of this year.
Well, my name is Kayla James, future Kayla Lawton. I'm 26 years old and I grew up in Kearney, Nebraska. So I grew up in the country. We lived kind of in between Kearney, Gibbon, and Ravenna. And my dad had this dream to have an acreage and some cattle. So we had cows and horses and even showed some sheep for 4-H. So we kind of grew up on the farm, even though my dad worked in town. My mom stayed at home with us. And then we went to Zion Lutheran for grade school growing up, and then I went to Kearney Catholic for high school. And there I was pretty involved in sports, volleyball, basketball. I did track, soccer, tennis, about everything. I did one act, kind of. I was like the prop or like the tree in the background. So then after that, after college or after high school, I went to Concordia University and played volleyball there all 4 years, and then majored in biology. And after graduation, I went to the Med Center and had attended PA school there for about 28 months. Actually in PA school is where I met Bernie and kind of how I ended up in Omaha area here. And then started working at through CHI Health Care Center, so I work in patient nephrology, and that's where I am today, I guess.
So life growing up was good. I mean, I did a lot of sports. Seemed like I just hung out with a lot of friends and it was fun. My sisters were all a little bit older, so it was kind of just me in the house, which was neat. But so I went to like Holy Cross. I lived right down the street from it, which was good. And I went to Creighton Prep for high school, which I enjoyed a lot. So it was really prepared me well for college. And then I went to UNO for undergrad, and then ended up going to the Med Center for PT school. So everything right around Omaha.
Yeah, so I shouldn't say this on here. Actually, so high school, everybody knows me as Muffin. For whatever reason, my mom, I used to be really involved in soccer, and there was like 2 or so other Kaylas on her team, and she started calling me Muffin because there were too many Kaylas, and that name somehow has stuck to the point where all my high school friends to this day will call me Muffin. Actually, for our wedding, we're gonna serve muffins at the end of the day. I think it's gonna say something like, "We'd be muffin without you," on like a little sign. But anybody back in Kearney knows me as Muffin.
Oh, I got a bunch. I've heard a lot. I've heard Burn Dizzle, Burn Dog, B Dizzle. Kayla's brother came up with Nard Dog. I think that was from The Office, so that was pretty good. Those are probably the main ones, I'd say.
So Bernie and I met because of my brother, Brett, mainly. Bernie was doing a rotation in Kearney. He was in PT school at that time.
So I was doing a rotation up in Kearney for PT school as my last one. And I was staying at a buddy of mine, a classmate, but just a good buddy. And we went out to a Kearney hockey game one night, which was fun.
I was in PA school, and he was living with his friend Adam Lease, who went to Kearney Catholic. His younger siblings, Sarah and Alex. Sarah was in my class, Alex was in Brett's class, and they were out at a hockey game, and Brett was with Alex. So Brett and Bernie met that night. Somehow they got to the conversation of me, I guess, being single.
My buddy's brother was friends with her brother, and then that's how I actually met Brett. And then it was kind of funny that Brett kind of played, he was kind of the matchmaker almost, of saying like, "Hey, you should meet my sister," and I was like, "All right." So,
and Brett told me about him later that night. And so I was texting my cousin Julia, who was dating a guy that was in the PT class at the time, because I knew she'd have a little bit of reference about who this guy was.
But then another guy in my class was dating her cousin. So I talked to him as well, and then kind of got some of like Kayla's information.
And so I texted Julia about him, and then she ended up telling her boyfriend, who ended up giving my number to Bernie. And then, yeah, he texted me like the next day.
And then just reached out to her. And then from there, we just kind of went on like a semi-blind date.
So that's how we originally met, and then we went on a first date in Kearney at Thunderhead Brewery. Ate pizza, and I kind of wrote this on my story on our website or whatever. But yeah, we ate pizza. He ate like all my leftovers. I don't know, we had pizza, we went and walked around downtown, went to Sonic, and just had a nice first date. It had been a good first dates for ones that I've had in the past. So it's really funny too, because like when Bernie first texted me before I had talked to him at all, he labeled himself Creepy Carl, and he'd send me all these memes, and he was just a funny guy. He's just laid back, I would say, very laid back and kind and sure of himself and really easy to talk to. I remember going on that walk and just, I mean, for meeting somebody for the first time, it was nice to meet somebody who's just easy to talk to. And
yeah, I thought she was beautiful, definitely. She was very beautiful, and basically I was like, all right, just don't screw this up. Just play it cool, don't screw it up. After just sitting there and talking with her, I thought she was very relaxed and just very chill, like I was, very mellow. And I mean, it was really easygoing. I mean, it didn't really feel like it was like a blind date. It felt like it was like we'd known each other almost. It just was really easygoing, and conversation was really smooth.
Bernie, oh my gosh, there's a lot of favorite things I have about him. Probably number one would be his heart. I guess I would tell a lot of people that he has the kindest heart. He has the most, I don't know, just thinking about who he is as a person and how kind and loving he is towards everyone else is probably one of the main things I love about him. He's got a funny sense of humor. I won't ever tell him that. He gets mad at me all the time for not laughing at his jokes. I'm like, I can't give it to you. He loves that. He's a really, really hard worker. And you'll see that in his job, in life, in CrossFit. He busts his butt, and I guess that's something to look up to, inspiring.
I like that she's passionate about like work, and that was one thing that really drew me to her. She was very passionate about school and wanting to, at the time she was in PA school and I was just getting done, so we were both kind of at this crossroads where I was studying for boards and she was in like a really hard time of PA school. So we could kind of relate to that a little bit. And she just had a really strong drive and a really strong will to be a good PA, kind of the same way I wanted to be a good PT and just finish up school and get through boards and all that. I like the fact that she's active. I mean, she was a volleyball player, and so we kind of had the same ideas and the same like values in terms of health and things like that. So that really drew me to her. And just that she was really easygoing. I mean, I felt like we could talk about just about anything, and it was super easy just to sit down and just and speak, you know, because not everyone's like that, and you want to be comfortable with them, whether you're doing things you like or doing things you don't like, or just speaking to them when you're just sitting on the couch, you know, watching TV. So.
So I'd say we're both pretty laid back. We both are really easygoing in that way, mellow. I guess he labels himself a minimalist. I don't know if he'll say that I'm a minimalist, but I'm trying to be a minimalist. I like that kind of thing in life. We both, I would say too, along with what I was talking about, his heart, I feel like we have a similar heart. And when I met him, I kind of was like, I finally found a heart that was similar to mine in that regards. We both love our families too, which is really important. And then we both love God. as well. And we've been growing in that, which has been nice.
I think a lot of the things I mentioned before made us pretty similar, just in terms of how easygoing we both were. The fact that we both like to be active and go outside and see things and do things, and we both want to go on trips and kind of see the world. And we're both hardworking. We both really believe in hard work, and I don't think we both want to be complacent. You know, we're always kind of trying to be better, you know, and then find new things and try new things. So.
I would maybe he'd say the minimalist thing. Like, he likes not a lot of stuff. It's hard for him to buy anything. I guess it is for me too, but he's really, really laid back so like clothes, like for this whole wedding, like for our rehearsal dinner, I told him maybe it'd be best if he would buy a new shirt. He doesn't want to buy a new shirt. He has plenty of new shirts. Maybe that's a guy thing, I don't know. But not me. I like to do that kind of thing. He eats a lot of food. He's always hungry, that kid. Maybe a little too laid back sometimes. Maybe I'm more type A, he's more type B or C. He's maybe a little bit more outgoing than me even. He's pretty outgoing in social settings. He can be quiet and reserved, but he's not as probably shy as I am. He's probably a little bit more confident and sure of himself. I would say that.
She likes, her and her whole family don't sleep, ever. They just will stay up the whole night. And me, and I can too, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like everyone in my family, like the Lautens, just really like to sleep. So, and that's not a bad thing, but I just thought it was kind of funny. But she can definitely be on the spectrum of type A to type B. She can be a little bit more type A, like she can get there and be a little bit more like, all right, we got to get this done and this done and this done. I can be a little bit more just laid back. I kind of just, whatever happens, happens sometimes. So it's probably good that she keeps me in line, but it's also good that I probably pull her back a little bit and not stress about stuff so much.
So Bernie lived in Mason City, Iowa, and it was a weekend. It was like last June is kind of when it happened, and I was just up there for another weekend. Nothing like special, I guess. Nothing going on that weekend. And so we would basically, when we were traveling, it would be like Friday late till Sunday, and we'd have to go. And I think we had got back from church, kind of explored Clear Lake, which is a really pretty city, really pretty lake near there. Came back to his apartment. And then I was kind of like packing up and getting ready to go. And he showed me this video that he had made. Basically, we love Polaroids, and so he has this video. If you could see it, you would love it. But he like took this video of all these Polaroids kind of leading to this proposal. In the end, it was like this ring, and I don't know, it was beautiful. And then he played one of the George Ezra songs that we've been talking, we've loved George Ezra all last summer. Played that song and then asked me. I was pretty surprised. I didn't think it was gonna happen right before I was leaving for home, but it made the next week go by a lot better. Oh yeah, Bernie and I talked about this. So probably the moment I'm looking forward to the most is when Pastor says, "I now pronounce you husband and wife." I can't wait for that. I know that's weird.
I think probably watching her walk down the aisle. I think we've talked about that a little bit before, and it's just going to be sort of this surreal moment where it all kind of came together, and we're finally there. I think that's going to be a really, really cool moment for me and for her, and one that I'm always going to remember. It's just going to be extremely vivid, I think, and I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I'm looking forward to the whole thing, but that specific moment, I think, is going to be pretty special. And then obviously the fun part of it, seeing all the friends and the family and having everyone come together, and I'm looking forward to all that. You know, it's hard to pinpoint just one thing, but yeah.
I'm just looking forward to, like, we don't live together, we've never lived together, so I'm looking forward just to building a life with him, I guess, living in the same house. We got the new house, so we're really excited about that, just spending all the little moments together from the mornings with coffee. He doesn't drink coffee to the evenings. I wish he would. I wish he'd like it. That's something that's different about us, actually. Well, maybe not during the week, but he does not like to get up early in the mornings. He loves his sleep.
Oof. There's a lot. I mean, we want to get out. We want to see the world. We want to travel a little bit. You know, obviously we want to do that, but at the same time, we're pretty excited just to be together and start a life and you know, live in the house that we just bought. You know, start a family relatively soon, but we'll see what happens. You know, but yeah, we're just I think I'm just excited to finally just to be with her as almost just like as one, you know, and just live our life and kind of see what happens. You know, I'm kind of ready for that next phase, definitely. So.
Yes, we're going on a honeymoon. It's a surprise for me, so I have no idea where we're going. I know that the plane leaves at 10 a.m. on Sunday following our wedding, and that's about it. So I'm really excited about that.
For a honeymoon, she doesn't know. It's been a surprise that I've planned and coordinated with the help of other people. You know, it's not just me, but coordinated a fun trip. I expect it to be a pretty fun time. We got plenty of things to do and go see, and yeah, it's gonna be a really, really, really good time.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it with Pastor and whatnot. We both want kids, like 2 or 3 maybe, but I think we're gonna wait, hopefully a year or so, just to be married and live in the same place and get used to being married and then see what happens.
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit. I think the number would be like 2 to 3, maybe. Yeah, it's so hard to know, but I would say right now the ideal number is probably 2 to 3. It's just, you never know. You never know what could happen, but yeah, I think when we've talked about it, that's basically what we've agreed upon for now. Yeah. So all my friends are having kids, and everyone's having kids, and Kayla's getting, you know, she's getting baby fever. She's like, I want a kid. So, yeah.
Yeah, probably that. He likes to sleep a lot, and I struggle with sleep. I guess, you know how there's the whole, do you eat to live or do you live to eat? I say that to Bernie about sleep. I was like, do you sleep to live or do you live to sleep? And he definitely lives to sleep. So he loves to sleep, and a lot of the time I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to go do something. Let's do something. So probably that.
Sure, if I could change one thing about, yeah, I mean, so the only pet peeves I think I've ever had would be like I mean, it's like small stuff, but like if she's doing like dishes and she puts the dish and there's still like a bunch of food on the dish still in the sink, and doesn't like put any of the food in the trash and then like rinse off the dish and then just put it in the dishwasher, and then we don't have a bunch of dishes lying around that we have to, you know, at the end of the week all scrape food off and then put in the dishwasher. I'd say that's a big one. And she's gonna know that too, right when she hears it, she'll know that. But no, that's just kind of a funny one. That's just my own little tidbit. So if we're gonna survive in a house together, she's gonna have to start doing that. So
I guess as far as love and finding the right person goes, I know that when you're young, you only see your world as like this big, and you worry about finding, well, at least I did. I worried about finding the right person, and you can't force it. You gotta let God kind of lead your life and lead you to the right person, and He will. And I would tell them to trust in His will in that regards, and that people and your family are so important, and to love on other people and be there for other people is very, very special and meaningful to everyone, and that'll just make a difference in anyone's life around you, I guess is what I would say. What I've learned this last year. So
That, that is a loaded question. That's a really loaded question. That's hard to say. I don't know how wise I am yet, but no, I think I would just say kind of the same things that I talked about earlier with me and Kayla is um, um, be hardworking, and be compassionate, and be humble, and always strive to be better, whether it's just like personally or spiritually or physically. Strive to be better, but always stay grounded and always stay humble, and always put family first. I would say definitely, and man, that's deep. Yeah, I would say overall, just can't wait to see what happens in the future, for sure. But yeah, I'll just end it there.